Well, it's Wednesday, and that means it's time for Mike on the Money. Hello, Mike.
How are you?
I'm good. Good to see you. Today we're talking about wealth because we all want to be, what is it, healthy, wealthy, and wise?
That's perfect. I love that.
Healthy, wealthy,
Yes.
wise. So a recent poll that we're going to be talking about this afternoon from Fidelity Investments found about 9 out of 10 people do not consider themselves wealthy. So we have our friend Mike Giordano, financial advisor with Williams Wealth Management, to share some insight. Let's start with the why, Mike. Why don't the vast majority of people feel wealthy?
Mostly it's inflation these days. I mean, you could boil it all down to inflation. And while the rate of inflation has come down, you know, we've talked about the level of prices is still significantly higher. It's probably up 20% over the last 3 or 4 years. So that certainly has eaten into things. And then even as the rates have come down, and maybe it's not so noticeable in a lot of different items, it still is in the biggest ticket item like your home, right? Home prices have gone up significantly over the last 4 or 5 years. The rates that you're paying on mortgages have gone up. And so it just feels like if that's the thing that a lot of people think of as wealth is owning your own home, if prices and rates keep going up, it just feels like you're not getting anywhere.
But this survey even, they talked to millionaires too. And it's interesting that even many of the millionaires that they surveyed said that they did not feel wealthy. They're millionaires. So why is that? Well,
I mean, a few things. I mean, a millionaire today is not what it was maybe like 10 or 20 years ago, first off. But the other thing too really is it's all relational. Everything's relative. And I've seen this countless times where somebody has $1 million and they go, well, I don't feel wealthy because the people I know have 2 million. And someone has 2 million and they're like, I know people with 5 and 5 had no 10. So it's this interesting dynamic where you never feel like you can get there. I mean, John D. Rockefeller, you know, he was the first billionaire in America, the wealthiest person in the world. And somebody said, when will you feel wealthy? And he goes, I just need a little bit more, right? And so here's the wealthiest person saying, I just need a little bit more. It's a common problem that people have. And then you add on all the social media and seeing what how other people are living. And so it just is a feedback loop that is really difficult to get out of.
The keeping up with the Joneses, as they say.
Keeping up with the Joneses, or the Rockefellers.
Or the Rockefellers, sure. Okay, so help us here. Let's figure out how we can all feel a little more comfortable, let's say. Where do we start?
Yeah, the first place to start is just to lay it all on the table. What's amazing to me is it doesn't matter what level of wealth somebody has. They have generally no concept of what their net worth really looks like. What do their assets look like? How much debt do they have? It's really hard for them to put all those pieces together because the viewers, they got their own jobs, they got their lives, they got kids running around. It's so convoluted and complicated that you don't have the time to sit down and actually look at the big picture. You get so hyper-focused typically on little things. Oh, the insurance, the air conditioning blew. I need to get a new car. And so all of a sudden you feel all these stressors. And if you looked at the big picture, you might go, it's no big deal. I can afford that kind of stuff. So the first thing to do is get everything out on the table. Look at what your net worth looks like. Look at what all your finances are.
Okay, and once we've laid everything on the table, how do we create a plan? That's where you come in.
Yes. Once you have it all on the table, you can see where you are today, then you want to start thinking about, okay, what are my goals? What's my retirement goal? What are my education goals for my children? What are my travel goals? What are all the things that I want to accomplish in life? Lay those out on the table and then start figuring out how much money you have in these different buckets. If you got a certain retirement goal, you go, here's what I've got saved up for retirement. How much could that give me? What kind of lifestyle could I have there? Same thing with the traveling, same thing with college education funds. So when you start looking at all that stuff, now you can figure out where are my deficiencies? Have I not saved enough for retirement? Have I not saved enough for college? And then you can start mapping out a plan. What you all typically find is that you say, hey, you know what? I've been saving money every year. So maybe I make $200,000, but I'm only spending $150,000. I'm actually saving $50,000. You don't necessarily feel that day to day, but when you start looking at all the math, you can start realizing that, and that makes you feel better. And then the second thing is if you can just get your mind right, you don't keep up with Joneses.
You know what? You've just made us all feel better. I feel better, Mike.
You feel better, you feel more comfortable, healthy, wealthy, wise.
Healthy,
there you
wealthy,
go. We
wise.
solved it.
We did. Your work is done for this week.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Mike Giordano, financial advisor with Williams Wealth Management. Thank you so much.